Start before you're ready. Don't prepare, begin. The enemy is not lack of preparation. It's not the state of the marketplace. It's not the difficulty of the project or the emptiness in our bank account. The enemy is resistance. Start before you're ready.
If you start today, in 2 weeks you will feel stronger.
In 1 month, you'll notice changes.
In 2 months, your family and friends will notice.
In 3 to 4 months, everyone will notice.
And in 5 to 6 months, everyone will ask,
How'd you do it?
If your definition of success is win or lose, giving everything you've got and growing or learning along the way, then you're setting yourself up for success. I really think the biggest cheat code in life is just going after it and not being concerned of whether or not you fail at one specific task. Instead, understanding the big picture, what your long-term goal is, and knowing if you keep driving forward and never quit, in the end you will succeed.
We're taught to wait for the right time, the perfect plan, the green light that signals we're finally ready. But the truth is, that moment rarely comes. We imagine confidence as the prerequisite for action, but in reality, confidence is the outcome of action. You don't build belief by standing still. You build it by moving forward. The greatest myth is that successful people were always sure of themselves. They weren't, they simply started. They stepped into the unknown with nothing but a little courage and a willingness to fail. The readiness we seek is forged in the doing, in the messy, imperfect, real work that challenges us, exposes us, and ultimately grows us. The first step always feels uncertain, but that's how you know it matters. Growth doesn't begin at certainty, it begins at discomfort. If you're waiting to feel ready, you'll wait forever. But if you start now, even trembling, even unsure, you give yourself a chance to become the person you're meant to be. Action leads, confidence follows. So take the leap, start before you're ready, because what you're looking for isn't waiting at the starting line, it's waiting at the finish. Confidence is often misunderstood. We tend to believe it's something we need to have before we take action, before we speak up in a meeting, apply for the job, start the business, or pursue something new. We wait until we feel confident, imagining that once we do, everything will fall into place. But that's not how it works. Confidence isn't something you're handed before you begin. It's something you earn because you begin. It's not a prerequisite, it's a result. Think back to the first time you did anything worthwhile. Maybe it was your first time speaking in front of a group, your first day in a new role, or your first attempt at something creative. You probably didn't feel sure of yourself. In fact, you may have been terrified. Your hands were shaking, your voice uncertain, and your thoughts racing. But you did it anyway. And what happened next? You survived. Maybe you even succeeded, and in doing it, however imperfectly, you grew. That's when confidence started to take root, not before. After. Confidence is built in the doing. It's built in the repetitions, the attempts, the failures, and the lessons. You don't get confident by waiting, you get confident by trying. Over time, what was once intimidating becomes familiar. What once triggered self-doubt now feels manageable. And that transformation doesn't come from thinking or planning, it comes from experience. The idea that we need to feel ready before we take action is a trap. Readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. If we waited until we felt confident about everything we wanted to do, we'd spend most of our lives waiting. Because the truth is, anything meaningful will always involve uncertainty. That's the nature of growth. And growth and comfort cannot coexist.
The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. You say, the emotionally immature man seeks out motivation to do something hard one time. The emotionally mature man uses discipline to do something hard 1,000 times. Discipline eats motivation for breakfast. You don't need motivation. It's great if it arrives. It's some extra fuel on the fire. But discipline is the thing that you need. What would you tomorrow want you today to do? You tomorrow would want you to keep that promise to yourself. And it's why discipline is so much more valuable. Doing the thing in spite of not wanting to do the thing is discipline. You don't need motivation to get yourself up to go and do it.
Some of the most capable, successful people didn't start out with unshakable self-belief. They started with a willingness to try, to fail, and to learn. They didn't wait to feel confident. They stepped forward in the presence of fear and doubt. That is real courage. And that courage is what lays the foundation for confidence. Confidence is what shows up later. After you've taken the steps, faced the resistance, and proven to yourself that you can keep going even when it's hard. It's important to realize that confidence is not about knowing everything or being perfect. It's about trusting yourself to handle whatever happens. That trust is built one small action at a time. Each time you show up, you reinforce it. Each time you push through discomfort, you strengthen it. Eventually, the voice of self-doubt grows quieter, not because it disappears, but because your belief in yourself grows louder. So if you're waiting to feel confident before you start something, don't. Take the step. Speak up. Try. You may stumble, you may fall, but those moments are part of the process. And with each one, you earn something far more valuable than momentary confidence. You earn resilience. You build proof that you can do hard things. You create momentum. The people who go the furthest are not those who always felt sure of themselves. They're the ones who showed up when it would have been easier to stay back. They're the ones who understood that confidence isn't a requirement to begin, it's a reward for beginning. So don't wait. Start where you are. Be afraid, be unsure, and take action anyway. Because confidence doesn't come first, action does. And when you lead with action, confidence will follow. Every time waiting to feel ready is one of the most common and costly habits that holds people back from growth, progress, and fulfillment. We convince ourselves that we need to be more prepared, more experienced, or more certain before we begin something new. Whether it's starting a business, changing careers, having a difficult conversation, or pursuing a goal that truly matters, we often hesitate, not because we lack ability, but because we don't feel ready.
If you haven't gotten what you want, then you're not worthy of it, period. And that's okay. Now you can admit that you suck and improve. Better to know you're bad for a season than pretend you're good for a lifetime.
Make the promise small, build it up step by step. Know that you are going to have setbacks. A habit missed once is a mistake. A habit missed twice is the start of a new habit. Never miss 2 days in a row. So ideally, go for a month, build it up. But after that, if you ever miss one day, go, okay, mistakes are going to happen. Tomorrow I double down. Tomorrow I go on time, absolutely perfect. I'm straight up out of bed, or I go to the gym, or I walk the dog, or I do my meditation or whatever. And that's a good heuristic. Stops errors snowballing into new habits.
Control freak is a word people with low standards use to describe people with high standards. You're not a control freak. You just want it done right the first time. You're not anxious. You care. Do not expect mediocre people to support world-class goals. We don't rise to the standards we have when others are watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. The only work that really matters is the work that no one sees. It shows you who you really are rather than who you say you are. Never let yourself be held back by other people's fears. People criticize what they were afraid to do themselves because bold action reminds them of their own inaction. If you're afraid to be criticized, why do you care about the opinions of those who are too timid to do it themselves? If you are the criticizer, does tearing down someone who has the courage you lack make you better?
The idea of readiness is comforting. It gives us a reason to wait. It makes us feel like we're being responsible or strategic by holding off. But the harsh truth is, the feeling of being ready rarely shows up on its own. It doesn't appear just because time passes or because we keep thinking about what we want to do. Readiness doesn't knock on the door one morning and say, now is your moment. In fact, the longer we wait, the more distant that feeling becomes. What happens instead is that we fall into a cycle of overthinking, doubting, and delaying until the opportunity slips away altogether. There is a deep fear beneath the need to feel ready, the fear of failure. We want to avoid embarrassment, criticism, or falling short. So we tell ourselves that we need more time, more knowledge, or more clarity. But the truth is, you learn by doing. The clarity you're waiting for often comes after you start, not before. The skills you think you lack are developed through the process, not in preparation for it. We mistakenly associate readiness with confidence, but confidence is built through action. Nobody feels confident about something they've never done. It's natural to feel uncertain, even scared at the beginning of something new. That doesn't mean you're not ready. It means you're about to grow. The discomfort is not a sign to stop. It's a signal that you're on the edge of something important. Think about all the chances people miss because they're waiting to feel ready.
These next videos will inspire you on your current journey.